Local filmmaker Chris Sferrazza has just landed a win for himself with his first film called Beast. It was his the first competition he'd entered, and something rather special. So I thought we'd catch up with Chris today to find out how Beast came about and his plans for the future. Chris is on the line. Hello, Chris. How are you?
Hi, Leigh. How are you?
Well, thank you. Thanks for joining us today. Looking at what you've done over the time, in the last 15 years or so, you've been a busy guy producing ads, and a lot of the ads that I see on telly and in the cinema as well are yours.
Yeah, I guess a fair bit. I try to keep myself busy on that end of it, and it's been a good career for me up to this point. And it's just now I'm thinking about changing gears, and shooting Beast was probably the first gear that I've put into. So, yeah, it's quite exciting times ahead.
Well, giving you a bit of a plug here, I was reading about you, and somewhere online I read that if people come direct to you, there's no middleman, you do the whole ad for them, do the film stuff and everything. So that's the way to go, I suppose.
Yeah, that's something that the business is changing quite a lot these days. So a lot of times people now, they just don't have, they're restricted budget-wise.
Yes.
So we try to, help those people out as best we can. And, sometimes it just makes it a little easier for people. There's less sort of complications along the way. And I talk directly to the people that need to, and get a better idea of what exactly they want.
Chris, I think it's a lovely idea. But I've got your rundown here for ads going back to 2006 with Kaiser and so on. And, you just got so many of them over the years. Let's come further towards the present day to Beast. Now, this is a movie that you won first prize up there in Sydney recently. And as I understand it, it now puts you in the running to present over in America for the Academy Awards in 2018.
Yeah, it was kind of something. It was quite an interesting surprise for me. We had entered Flickerfest, which is held in Bondi Beach, and to my surprise, I was selected. It was the first time I've actually attempted any film festivals, and we were selected, and it was quite exciting to be selected. Then about 2 weeks later, the closing dates, the festival contacted me and asked me if I was going to be attending. And at that point, I wasn't intending on to, but they suggested, they highly recommended that I show up. And then again, to my surprise, we went through all of the award ceremony, and there was only one last award to be given out, which was Best Australian Short. And I still at that point didn't think anything of it. Like, no, they must have brought me up here for an honorable mention. and then when they announced that Beast had won, I just I couldn't believe it. So yeah, it's put us now. We're a part of the selection process for the Academy Awards for next year.
Congratulations!
So, thank you very much. Yeah, so something that I never thought in my life would ever come that close to it. So I am quite excited about it.
And will you take Beast with you, or it'll be a different movie you do?
No, it'll be Beast. Will be the film that's selected at the moment. So we're now because I kind of gotten taken out of how do I put it? I was taken by surprise. I didn't have everything together, so I had to put a press kit together and just kind of quickly get myself organized for all the things that you need to do for other film festivals now.
Well, you're doing extremely well. It's great. It's great to hear. Tell us about Beast. Now, it's a 20-minute movie. What's the plot? I tried to look. I did look online, and I did see the trailer you've got online, but I haven't been able to see the movie yet. So you'll have to explain to my audience what it's all about.
Well, it's about a woman who lives in a small eastern coast town in Australia, and she's kind of been exiled from the community, a social outcast for about 10 years in the wake of an accident that her daughter had caused, and her only sort of connection with the town is through her grandson, who's a paramedic, and the town gossip. This woman, Beatrice, and who she works with. And Beatrice is kind of leads her on to being that she's going to get her back into the community, and she's putting in a good word and that sort of thing. And as things progress and as things are starting to look up, she makes a frightful discovery about her grandson, and consequently has to decide whether or not she's going to stick by her grandson or not. I'll kind of leave it at that point. It's not exactly the happiest ending of films, but I think that's kind of what makes it a little bit more interesting on that end of it. So,
where did the inspiration come from to be doing a movie about the grandmother and the grandson?
Well, what we actually did is I was actually working on a full-length picture with a friend of mine, and he had this script. His name's Carl Sorum, and he had this script that he had written, and Carl was very trusting with myself, and we've been working together for so long. We decided maybe it would be best if we tried shooting a short film first before a full-length feature, and so this was kind of how that sort of spawned and where it came from. We were allowed, Carl allowed me to make some adjustments to the script in order to fit it on film. And sometimes what's on paper doesn't always work, what's on screen. So he allowed me to do that sort of thing. And look, we've got a very strong working relationship from it all. And
well, Chris, watching your trailer, it looks so professional. It looks as if it would be something you'd see on television or in the cinema itself. It's just top class.
Well, thank you very much. Well, that's what we're hoping for eventually, that we could turn it into a series of sorts. We've actually been writing scripts to go to follow this one up afterwards. Look, hopefully we'll get it on people's television screens, be it Netflix or Stan or whoever. But that's kind of the part of the reason why we wanted to make it as well. So,
well, with paid television, how it is these days, with you mentioned Stan and Netflix and so on, it's quite an opening there. Netflix does so much stuff in the States and out here too. That could be quite the avenue that you want to take.
Oh, I think so. Yeah, and look, I think it's been great. It's really brought back strong writing to television and to people. The accessibility to people has been fantastic. And look, it's something I very much want to make sure that it's shot and produced in Australia. I think
we want that, don't we?
So much potential here to do this sort of thing. So there's some great talent here. So it's kind of another part of it all.
Chris, you were originally a photographer, weren't you?
Originally, yeah, I'd gone to school for photojournalism, strangely enough, and learned all about media and all that sort of thing. And I was actually originally going to go off and shoot for the Associated Press. And a few things in my life had changed just as I was on that sort of, I guess, crossroads of my life. And I wound up in the film business instead. Which I have to say, I was very happy that it's turned out the way it has.
Well, for your passion to come through in cinematography, how did that passion foster? What did you do there? How did it come about?
Look, I think partly my heritage is of Italian background.
Right.
My grandparents were all from Italy. There's a certain cultural sort of I guess, part of the DNA, something that gets passed on. And I kind of fell in love with neorealism Italian films from post-World War II. And, there's a realism about those films and that I kind of connected to. And it sort of, it's a natural fit for me. So I guess it's something that I'm trying to also kind of, I guess, keep something of that alive and making films like Beast and kind of bringing that forth. It's something I really, really enjoy doing, and I think if I could make people see the world in a different way through film and of at least one person, I'd be very happy.
You've succeeded, yeah. Where can we see Beast? Are you going to be presenting this down here in Melbourne?
Well, at the moment, we've submitted to a couple of the other film festivals down here in Melbourne.
Right.
There are a lot of restrictions on film festivals about where you're allowed to premiere and how you where you can and can't show it, unfortunately. So it's one of the reasons why it's not online. And I was lucky enough that Flicker Fest was the world premiere of the film.
So, Chris, tell me, who puts those restrictions on you?
It's most of the film festivals, and look, for good reason. That what they're trying to get people through the door. If people have seen the film already, then
right.
It kind of cuts the film festivals off from that sort of thing. So it's a very new process to me. I have to say I'm really kind of learning as I go about it all. But I do know I sort of have to be careful about where and when I show it at this point. So
we'll have to watch out for one of the Melbourne Film Festivals to see when it's going to be shown.
Yes, no, most certainly, and I'll most certainly let everybody know when it is.
Oh, please.
When it is running, yeah.
Yes,
so,
look, I want to see this, and hopefully it'll branch out to television or to Netflix or Stan, as you're saying there, and we'll see it on our little screens as well.
I hope so, yeah. That would be fantastic. Yeah, that would be great.
As well as Beast and the runoff from that, anything else you're doing at the moment?
Look, yeah, I do have a couple of other films that we're working on. One's a science fiction film, strangely enough, to kind of mix it up a bit. And then a few other films. There's another short that I'm also thinking about playing with at the moment that involves a gang of little kids. But, at the moment, my concentration's on just getting Beast up and running and making the most of that as it is. It is a lot to balance between promoting the film as well as family life and so on and so forth. So, it's keeping me busy. Let's put it that way.
And Chris, where's your studio? Do you work from home or do you have a studio?
No, I have I work out of like a creative studio called In-Depth Studios.
Okay.
In Pran, yeah. So, and they've been very, very good to me here. They look after me very well. So,
Chris, it's nice to follow your story there, and I want you to keep in contact with me, or Annie can, your producer or your publicist if you want to. But I'd like to keep in touch and see where the movie's going to be screened and when the festival's coming up, and what you're doing in the future too, mate. Because with the site in front of us there of you going to America for the Academy Awards, we need to follow that through with you and all of those things. So,
well, thank you very much. I appreciate you taking the time out and having a chat.
It's a pleasure, Chris. For local talent, it's wonderful, and I just wish you all the very, very best in the future, pal.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
You take care. Okay, thanks for your time. Okay, bye-bye. See you. That's Chris Sferrazza there, a filmmaker here in Melbourne. His movie called The Beast has won the award in Sydney, and waiting now for the festival perhaps down in Melbourne or someplace we can go along and see this, and it may branch out on Netflix or onto Stan as time goes on.